back, guys, to the Collectors with Cards Drinking Coffee podcast. I'm your host, PokemonRadar. Today we have a very special guest, probably my biggest clout guest, as I can. Since I'm gonna throw that out there. He's got 1 million subscribers now on his main YouTube channel, and he's got his secondary channel, which I'm positive to say that it's probably his favorite channel to do work on now.
It actually is. It has been for like the longest.
Your Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh channel.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even know that I do that. Like, despite having my main channel, every time I even talk about a second channel, people is like, "You have a second channel?" Like, yeah. Do you guys not see much to talk about this stuff on Twitter and like Instagram?
But here we are. Obviously, most of you probably know who he is. It's Rhymestyle, aka Dino. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Good. No, thanks for joining. What's Dino short for? Because I have my best friend growing up. He's got an uncle named Dino, and he's got a coffee shop in Ohio, and it's called Dino's Cappuccinos, of course. And I've just
First of all, that name is fire. Number one. Two, if I was ever there, I would 100% go there.
well, actually, it's out in Yellow Springs, Ohio, and apparently some famous people go there, like Dave Chappelle and whatnot. So you might.
Yeah, I know Chappelle lives in Ohio. I think Cleveland. I want to say. I grew up in the Midwest, so I'm a Midwest boy. But it doesn't stand for anything. It's just Dino. It's I'm Bosnian, and I guess it's an Italian name, but like Bosnia, it's like close to Italy over the seas and stuff. So it was a kind of a common name in Bosnia as well.
Okay. Well, very cool. I mean, I think short for dinosaur, short for that's the only one I could think of. So.
See, it was a pain because I grew up in Germany, and the problem is here in America it's Dino. But that same word in Germany is Dino. So like Dino, and being in like, first, second grade was rough. Because at least over here, it's like, well, Dino and Dino are not the same word. Over there it was. So it's like, first grade was tough, man.
Yeah, I can't. My last name can be very easily switched around with bitch. So I got that a lot growing up, but I got over it pretty quick. But yeah, I watched the interview or podcast you did with I think it was Jake and Rafi, and you talked about growing up or being born in Bosnia, and I didn't know you spent some time in Germany as well.
Yeah, so when the war happened in Bosnia, we moved to Germany, lived there for about 6 years, and then afterwards, when it was like, hey, get the fuck out, it was either go back to Bosnia or try something new. And then my parents just I guess figured out how to get here the proper way. So yeah, we moved over here instead of going back.
Okay. Well,
and I grew up in the Midwest for pretty much my entire life outside of that.
Yeah, we talked about that. You went to you're a Big Ten guy. I went to Michigan State, so we got a little rivalry there, but
a little bit.
Now you're out on the West Coast enjoying the sunshine, and I was out there, but now I'm back in the Midwest and looking forward to my first winter in like 3 or 4 years. So this is going to be an interesting time.
You just got back?
I got back in March, so like just before the pandemic hit. Like it wasn't because of the pandemic; it just happened like timing wise. Literally like a week before the Bay Area shut down, I was back out in Michigan and doing my thing here. So. Yeah.
Man. From 75-degree weather to just sub-zero. See, what people don't understand, to those who don't live or grew up in the Midwest, it gets cold out there. I'll never forget. The biggest memory I have of my childhood is one time it was so cold that it was -10, and they literally shut down all the schools because every district was like, not like, it's just unethical to send kids out there to wait for school buses and stuff. Mine didn't. Mine was like, nope, y'all gotta go. Yeah, to put on 2 jackets. I'm like, are you serious? Like. It's -10. Even on the bus, it was cold.
Yeah, you see the articles in like Georgia. Oh, they got a wisp of snow. They shut down all the schools. But out here, we got 12 inches. The bus can get through it. It's fine.
Yeah.
So we didn't get as many snow days as people think. But
we also, the thing about our school is like, I was in that one district where they just never gave us snow days, no matter how bad it got. And it's, again, we grew up in the Midwest. It snowed a lot. So it was always like, bro, come on.
Well. We've never met in person. We've never. We just recently kind of started talking to each other. I remember finding your YouTube first through Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, with my brand here, PokemonRadar, it's built off the Dragon Ball radar. That's really where like Dragon Ball's up here for me, and Pokemon's right here. So, although I don't show off as much Dragon Ball Z stuff, it's still like my love, and that's where I found you. Originally, was doing. I think it was a phone app where you could like battle like buy thing, like at 4-star go. I don't remember what the name is, but I found you through that.
Dragon Ball Legends.
Dragon Ball Legends, yeah. And that like filtered into one of your co-creators, I guess, on YouTube, who actually opened up like a Cell Saga box or something.
Nano.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is he regrets that to this day. And I remember he hit me. I was like, "Should I make this video?" And I'm like, "Don't do it." Because the thing is this. I don't know how much popularity still exists around those original cards, but that box you had was like a holy grail. Don't do it. Don't do it for the views. He was like, "All right, I'm not gonna do it."
He had this one, the limited edition. I just got this one. I got the unlimited as well.
How much is it right now? I want him to know.
I paid $13.50.
Okay.
I don't think people would like. I wouldn't sell this for less than $2,500, and I've only seen a couple of these on eBay.
Is that the one where you can get the Super Saiyan 3 Goku?
No, that one. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is Buu Saga. That one has the Vegeta and Goku, like the Super Saiyan 2, like the super buff one. Yeah.
Yep.
That was just before, or I guess during Cell games, obviously. But
yeah, he wasn't happy about doing that afterwards because like also the video I think did like kind of okay and average, and most people that were watching it didn't understand what they were looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with that game. I wasn't super into it, but I kind of know about it. So like when I saw that, I'm like, Nano, you got to replace it now. You have to replace it.
Well, it's funny, the pull rates for ultra rares back then are apparently 1 in 10 boxes.
Oof.
So
see, these kids these days don't understand how lucky they have it. See, we were just talking about Yu-Gi-Oh before we started recording, but Yu-Gi-Oh pull rates were god awful.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget. I only opened a handful of packs in my life when I was a kid for Yu-Gi-Oh because at that point I already kind of gotten out of the trading card phase, and then I fell right into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I barely ever got a chance to actually buy packs. But the handful of times I did, I never pulled a foil in my entire life prior to that. Because the pull rates were dumb.
Yeah.
Because like right now it's like with WotC boxes, you get 36 packs, you get 12 holos guaranteed. Mm-hmm. In Yu-Gi-Oh, each box was about 24 packs, and you get 2 ultra rares and then like 4 super rares, which no one cares about. So essentially, you only get 2 holos per box.
Jeez, I can't imagine. I mean, even back then though, as a kid, you're not getting a full booster box, so you're not even guaranteed like I'm getting holos. You were just getting individual packs from your parents if you were lucky enough. And I don't even remember pulling that much. Like I never got too many packs. I mean, probably more than most people, I guess, but.
I definitely, when it came down to cards in general, it was always a handful for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remember being able to flip through binders at stores and pick out the ones that I wanted. It was never too many.
I just had to trade for it because the thing is growing up in a foreign household, my parents never understood trading cards because to them it was like, why do you want us to blow money on pieces of paper? Like they never understood it. So the only time I ever got packs for like Pokemon, mostly Pokemon, was just because if I don't know, got like 100% on a test or something, which was pretty rare, number one. And the biggest memory I have is I've told the story so many times on my channels, both of them, but I'll never forget. It was me and my friend. We're at the Target, and my mom was like, I don't know, she was just in a good mood. She's like, you know what? Go ahead, both of you guys pick out some Pokemon packs. I grabbed 2 base packs off the wall. I remember I grabbed the Charizard. I gave him the Blastoise. I pulled a Venusaur, and I was excited. I'm like, oh snap, starter, let's go! You know what he pulled with the pack that I gave him? A Blastoise. And for the rest of my childhood, I had to look at that Blastoise in his binder because I never owned one as a kid.
Yeah.
I had to always look at that like, I could have had that. I gave you that pack, bro.
That's kind of the same story with my first edition base set opening with Swolpoke that I did earlier this year. We bought 3 first edition base set packs off of Yahoo Japan. Like we it was funny. We called each other. I called him. I was like, I'm thinking about buying these packs, and he's like, no, I was about to buy them. So because we're friends and do business together, we're like, all right, let's just go halvesies on it. We'll split it. So we bought them. We shipped them to him. He weighed them out. We had 2 heavies out of the 3. And I was like, all right, I'm driving down to LA. We're going to Frank & Sons, and we're going to open these packs.
Was that the moment?
Yeah.
I know exactly. Yeah, I remember that.
I was on the phone with him like the whole way down. Like, all right, if we're going to open these, I get the Venusaur pack. That's my lucky pack. Like, that's just what's going to happen. If we're not going to open it, I need the Charizard for my set. We can do it that way. And like the whole way down, he's like, I'm feeling good about this Venusaur pack. and obviously we ended up opening them. I got the Venusaur pack, opened it, got the Charizard, and then he pulled the Venusaur. I mean, we split everything 50-50, but that experience is like something that is hard to stomach if you didn't get it.
See that's even worse now. I mean, back then it's like whatever, but like today, especially today on October 18th with the prices, yeah, that's gotta hurt.
Oh yeah, it hurts even more than I sold it too.
Yeah, there was a pack that sold for $16,000 the other day on eBay, and it was just a Blastoise pack that weighed 20.89. I'm still pretty sure it was a light.
Oh, that's 100%. I mean, not 100%, but
there's still that piece of me that's like, what if that wasn't a light? Because I remember Kanto Shark, he opened his, and I think his weighed like 20.95 or 98 or something like that, and he pulled the Charizard out of that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well, we talked about this because you just bought a heavy Shadowless pack that, like, you saw on eBay, and like I just somehow found the guy on Instagram and got you like a couple $100 off. But yeah, that's the thing with pack weights is you never really know unless you have the sealed box and open it yourself. Like,
see, let me show you. Actually, I got this right here. I got this little wooden case that PSA sent me a while back for PSA cards.
Oh, that's right.
But I use it for storing my heavy packs. And on the right side, I had nothing but heavies, and they were like good weights, like good weights. And when I have a fix, I'm just gonna open one of these or two of these, make a video out of it. Mm-hmm. There's been so many situations in the past like couple weeks where I open and I'm like, oh, this is a light. And that's something I try to explain to people. I'm like, you guys gotta stop buying packs because they're 21 grams. Like it doesn't guarantee anything. All that guarantees is premium price for a pack that's potentially light.
Right.
I'll never forget. I forgot somebody reached out to me, I think on Instagram a couple weeks ago, and they were like, hey, I have a bunch of fossil packs that weigh 23 grams and they're light. Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
Like,
I told you the whole story. I told you the whole story because of it. That's the thing. Yeah, I've got these fossil packs, right? And I'm trying to get them to someone who will open them because I don't want them on the market. I have 17 packs right now, or 15 left, because I've been opening some of them because I don't know what to do with them. But I have 2 guaranteed heavies at 22 grams plus.
Right. Which
is ridiculous. And then the rest of them are between 21.15, which is a typical heavy, all the way up to 21.7. But I started opening them just to like figure it out because I bought this collection and it was just a mixed match of packs. And I bought this collection and I was trying to weigh out the packs to figure it out. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? I couldn't figure it out. And I opened up a 21.5 a light pack, no hollow. I opened up a 21.3 heavy pack. So it was just like, I don't know what to do with these things. I'm still trying to get them to someone who will open them. I'm probably going to end up doing it myself. But you can never, there's steps when you're buying packs of, you need to know the source of it. You need to trust the source of it.
Yep.
And then even with that, it's never a guarantee. So
yeah. See, that's why I have a lot of respect for like verified people, because I know when it comes down to the Pokemon market, sometimes people get heated at premium prices, but I'm like, you can trust those people. It's like I'd rather pay a bit of a premium price for buying from someone that I know I can trust. For example, I just bought these EX Deoxys packs that came from TCA Gaming. TCA Gaming sold it to someone else, and then that person sold it to me later. And the second he showed me that he got from TCA, I'm like, I know I can trust that. Yeah. And by the way, that box has not had a Gold Star pulled yet, and there's 3 hollows left, and I got the 3 packs. So I'm like, do I want to risk this? Because number one, if I pull the Rayquazas, that'd be great. 2, if I don't, that's gonna hurt because Gold Stars, EX era cards, they hurt because nothing else really matters in those sets.
Right. Well, and someone specifically like TCA, he'll be able to like work out with you, refund you, or balance that out if it ends up not being heavy. At least from what I've talked to him about. So.
That's what the guy who sold me the pack said too. He was like, if this ends up for some reason not being heavy, I'll figure out some kind of refund. But again, I know they're heavy. They're gonna be hollows. It's just the question is will it be the right hollow?
Right. Well, I mean, that's something that I've been speculating forever. I never even I still haven't acted on it. But you're looking at these EX sets that have, people are just chasing the gold stars, and the sealed product is astronomical now. Those hollows are probably still undervalued, PSA 9, PSA 10s. I haven't looked at it in a while. I was talking about this to myself and some friends like last year. But, like you said, nothing else in that set really matters. I mean, in comparison, they're so far apart. But, I mean, the reverse hollows from those sets, I think, are probably my favorite because they got the little logo on it.
Yeah, EX Team Rocket by far is the best reverses.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that have like all the different. I think that's the one that has all the different energies in the background as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think EX Deoxys is the worst because then that's when they add like the diamondy pattern, and I'm like, why though?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So this is what I was saying about Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Level X. Like up until a couple months ago, nobody cared about these cards at all. At all. I bought a to give an example. Back in July, I bought a Level X Charizard PSA 10 for $700. And by the way, it was listed like 900. So like I talked them down. So anytime you can talk someone down on a vintage Charizard, it shows that there's just no demand for it. The second I bought it, I remember I was talking to PokeRadar, and I'm like, yo, there's a couple listed on eBay right now for $1,100 a piece. I think you should buy these because I know these are just going to go up in price and a lot of popularity. People are all just overlooking the middle era stuff. Like it's all about WotC, which is cool. But there are some middle era stuff that's good. Like there's a bunch of like, a matter of fact, I just bought this the other day. I got this was it Unseen Forces? Yeah, Unseen Forces for Alligator. I also got the Typhlosion as well for really good prices. People are just so focused on the original stuff that they're overlooking the middle era stuff. And I feel like when they discover the middle era stuff, it's gonna explode. That's why I remember I posted a tweet, Prime stuff, Prime Pokemon are going to explode, Level X is going to explode. The only thing that sucks about Level X is a lot of Pokemon choices are garbage. It's like who wants a Torterra? Like, I mean, someone might want a Torterra, but like a lot of the choices are so bad. But like if you go into like the classic, there's a couple like the Charizards out there, Infernape's. People will want to get those.
Yeah, I just streamed yesterday, and on Twitch, and I was just buying the Heart Gold, Soul Silver Legend cards. Those are slept on. Those things are beautiful.
I think I got one right next.
Beautiful artwork. Like that was a one-off thing for that era of sets. I don't expect any like reprints of something like that. And they're so unique, and they're slept on for sure.
Yep, I got the Lugia as a PSA 10. That's the one I was like trying to hunt for the most back when I got back into Pokemon, and I remember I was buying those Legends cards left and right. I think it took me like 20 cards before I finally got one that was perfect.
Yeah, I just started picking them up. They're so hard to find mint.
Yeah, because it's all hollow.
So I'm trying to grade them.
You breathe on it and it just scratches.
But yeah, like I picked up a Lugia set from my local store. I got an 8 and an 8.5 from CGC. But yeah, they're just like, this is art. Like we keep talking about how Pokemon is our generation's art. This is art, like
100%. That's what people don't get. It's like a lot of people will be like, "Why are you wasting money on Pokemon?" My favorite thing is obviously you heard about the Logic sale. I was the one who pushed for that to happen. When Logic got back into Pokemon, I'll never forget. So this is the story. So he calls me up and goes, "I want to open Pokemon cards," and I'm like, "Bet, buy some Champions Path." He buys 10 boxes, and in a single day, he pulls 3 Rainbow Charizards. He pulls one, freaks out, calls me. He goes, This is what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, that feeling is just great. And he opens more. And he calls me up. It literally calls me up on FaceTime, and his wife is next to him, pulls a shiny Charizard. I'm like, how do you do this in one day? I mean, granted, I pulled 3 shiny, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But I haven't got a single rainbow yet. And then at that point, he had the bug. He was like, I just want more. Should I go open that base box? Because I helped him get a base box. And I'm like, maybe we don't jump into that just yet. He goes, I mean, what's the point of buying it if you're not going to open it? I'm like, you know what? Fine. I mean, you got the funds. If you want to replace the box, go for it. He opens the box, 4th pack in, pulls the Charizard. Now he's got the high. He goes, all right, now what? I want that 10. Because prior to that, I told him that the first edition 10 was on auction. Because he had hit me up. I was like, I want to buy a Charizard, but I'm not really sure. I'm like, just start low, just get a limited one. He goes, what about the best one? I'm like, well, the best one's probably going to be like 180 grand. He goes, so? And I'm like, all right, fine. I'm not going to tell you not to. So he buys that, and it just all starts like unraveling at that point. But
oh my god,
bruh.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. This Logic phenomenon. So not too long ago, I posted for sale a first edition Neo Destiny box.
I forgot that also happened too. Yeah.
And you hit me up, and you said, I might have a guy that's interested in it. What's your price? I gave you a price. It was, top of the market. I don't like selling things cheap. And you were like, oh, that's fair. We can make that happen. And And I was like, well, who's this guy buying? And he's like, oh, I can't really let you know, but he's looking to get into Pokemon. And I offered like, yeah, I'll help him out if he wants, like I can help you pick some things out. Like, just let me know your budget and we'll figure it out. And you go, yeah, he doesn't really have a budget. So I was like, all right, I got to ask, who is this guy? And you dropped the name Logic, who, I mean, everyone knows, and I'm personally a big fan of, but we ended up working out a deal together, and I got to sell a box to Logic, the Neo Destiny First Edition box, which you did mention on your video that you did opening with him. I forgot, what did you open with him? That you had the computer in your video.
Oh, yeah. So what happened was, this was all the same day. So what happened was he just got through opening all his packs and stuff. And then my package just arrived that day. I found an EX Deoxys blister for $700,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh look, this just came in. He goes, open it. I'm like, maybe we don't. We're in two different tax brackets. I can't just open these left and right. Come on, open it. I'm like, fine. You convinced me. It really wasn't much convincing. I opened it, and that's when we just recorded that video together. And going back to what we said earlier, in that video, I actually cut out a couple of the openings, but in that video, I ended up opening like 4 Neo Genesis packs that ended up being light, and they were all like in the 21 grand range. Mm-hmm. I cut them all out just because there was nothing really high pulled out of that. But that goes to show you again, don't buy a pack just because it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was, so I've been friends with Logic pretty much for, I don't know, the last like 15 years, 10 years, something like that. And every time I bought those boxes, I used to always be like, yo, you should get into Pokemon. You should get into Pokemon. You should get a Pokemon. And I remember the specific story was my first purchase ever, big purchase, was a Neo Destiny box back in 2017, 2018, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it for $3,000. And I remember I told him, I'm like, yo, just so you know, if you buy a couple of these, they are going to blow up over the course of the time. And he was always like, yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know much about, collectibles like that. I'm probably just going to avoid it. So every single time a big sale happens, I would tell him, like, yo, just so you know, this is happening. And when I forgot what it was, something blew up. And I called him up. I'm like, again, just so you know, I'm letting you know right now, Pokemon's hot right now. If you want to get into it, this is the time to do it. And he goes, okay, what's the best box? I'm like, well, you can probably get a first edition box for like $60,000. And this is, by the way, like 2 months ago, which the price difference between 2 months is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, $60,000 is a lot of money for Pokemon. I'm like, yeah, I know, but trust me on this. Then Logan buys that box for $200,000. I call him up. I'm like, yo, remember when I told you that box was $60,000? He goes, yeah. I'm like, it just sold for $200,000. He goes, all right, give me a list right now, everything I need to buy. I'm like, okay, let's start slow. Maybe we get base. He goes, what do you have? I'm like, I have Neo Destiny. He goes, I want that. I'm like, a little bit expensive. He goes, I don't care. Find me a box. I'm like, okay, but we should start slow. He goes, I don't care. Just give me the list of the boxes. I'll buy them right now. So I got him the Neo Destiny, which you sold him. And by the way, I had to fight him not to open that, because when he went through his base opening the other day, he wanted to open the Neo Destiny so bad. I'm like, no, don't. Not yet. Not that one. Open whatever first generation boxes you want. But I feel like what people don't understand about second generation is they're so non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they just had less printing at the time. Maybe people weren't into Pokemon as much. I don't know what happened. I feel like Neo Genesis, Neo Destiny, Revelation, and Discovery a lot less exist, especially today.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, everybody stocked up on their cases of base set, fossil. But I feel like nobody really cared about Neo. And then, of course, when the Neo series had to blow up because of Typhlosion, that's when people started really paying attention. Like, oh, maybe I should get into this, which caused the price to go up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story of that. And then next thing you know, he's buying he literally beat the game in a week.
Well, he didn't move fast enough. I mean, I'm still talking to him a little bit too. And like 2 days ago, I sent him a snapshot.
Remember I messaged you. I was also like, we're trying to buy the Charizard, and you were like, well, I got someone who's selling the entire set, the entire PSA 10 set. He almost bought that.
He almost did, and there was some bidders going back and forth with it, and my friend actually ended up not selling it because he had a price point in mind, and no one, like, we got close, we got so close, and he just didn't hit it, and now it just keeps going up and up and up. It's like,
I gotta say, we made a mistake because we didn't realize that was for everything. We thought it was just for the hollows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when you mentioned that price, I'm like, for just the hollows, that's a little bit too much. But then I remember it was a couple days later, I saw that same post on Instagram. I'm like, wait, that was for everything?
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's why
that's
why I'm trying to get this guy to talk to me more. Like, we're talking occasionally, but he's being a little. I mean, I know he's busy and all that, but like 2 days ago, I sent him a screenshot of Gym Hero boxes, first edition. And I said, anything first edition WotC near 10K is is just disgustingly undervalued. And
Yeah.
then I just sent him a screenshot this morning of all of them listed. They're at 20 to 25K.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm waiting for him to see what he says. But
So I don't know. It's not public yet. It's going to be soon, I believe. But he made a couple more purchases actually. He got 2 first edition Team Rocket boxes and 2 base unlimited boxes, and he also got a Shadowless box guaranteed.
from
Yeah.
you?
So he no he so.
Because I know you got one of those.
I have one of those. I have the one that's with the clear shrink wrap. The one that he bought was I believe it was one that had it had the logos, but it's verified. It's got like the long grip and everything like that. Or I think it came from like a verified case, but the person that sold them, it was like verified as well. Again, trusted sellers are great.
Yeah.
But I remember like I literally watched this man blow like 400 grand in a day, and I'm like, okay, maybe we slow down now. Let me be the person to tell you stop buying stuff just for a little bit, and then over time you can start getting more. But the thing he wanted to do is the reason why he bought 2 Team Rocket and 2 base sets is because number 1, he wants to open another base set. He wants to pull the Blastoise, and 2, he wants to open Team Rocket just because. Well, I told him, Team Rocket is great because everybody right now is all about base set, maybe a couple of jungles and fossil. But I feel like nobody cares about Team Rocket either. Team Rocket is a fantastic set. Introduced Dark Pokemon for the first time. To be fair, Dark Charizard was never my favorite when I was a kid because I remember it was all about base Charizard. Then a couple of people started tossing around the Blaine's Charizard. But the Rocket Charizard was always kind of like whatever in my childhood just because it wasn't as cool because, just Charizard from the back. But now looking back at it, that Charizard is great. Like I feel like it aged really, really well. But I think on top of that, you also got that small chance to get the Aerial Dragonite. I think Team Rocket is absolutely undervalued.
Well, that's the thing. Like you mentioned with like how there's that price disparity between sealed product with Neo Destiny and the cards within it, and like telling him not to open it. Yeah, the popularity from base set, like they went nuts with the printing on Jungle Fossil and Team Rocket, and that at that point things started to die down because kids were moving into Yu-Gi-Oh, they were moving into Magic, Dragon Ball Z, whatever other card game. So once you got to the Gym series, things started to plateau, and then Neo, they saw a big decrease. So there's just this weird like hill of popularity, and Team Rocket was kind of like that breaking point of, all right, Pokemon, we're losing a little bit of interest. We need to kind of slow down printing. I think at least that's what we have put together with all the information we have. But yeah, the introduction of dark Pokemon is so cool. Like that's something that I miss from today's modern stuff. It's too childish,
too happy,
too kiddie. Yeah, like
I mean, it makes sense. It's a children's game at the end of the day. Right. I'll never forget. I saw like a meme on Twitter a couple years ago that was like. It took all the different eye designs from Generation 1, Generation 2, even Generation 3, and they all looked like mean and evil. And then everything after that was all happy. Like, if you look at the different, how they design the eyes, they're all like bubbly but the thing that's always weird to me is I got this fake Lugia next to me. I don't get why this, like, wasn't as popular growing up. Because I feel like second generation absolutely nailed it. There was nothing that was wrong with it. On top of it, I feel like the games, sales wise, they competed with Red and Blue, so I never understood why Neo Genesis just wasn't it. Maybe it's because they didn't have like a Charizard in it or something like that, and they didn't really have that until Neo Destiny. And by then, I feel like a lot of people had already fallen off because that was the last release in the Neo set. But I think in my opinion, Neo Genesis, Revelation, Discovery, and Destiny have some of the best arts of all time.
100%. And this is something I talk about a lot in like my podcast is that silver version, gold version. I was a silver version guy. That era, video game wise, was such a big leap from red and green or red and blue, and that was my I was a follower. I was young with red and blue, following my brothers. But when it came to silver and gold, I was kind of conscious of what was going on. So I was involved. I was engaged. I was like all in on the video game. And at that point, like card game wise, there's not much going on with the Pokemon card game, like playable. So as a kid, you're like, all right, I want to move on to the next thing to get more, a lot more things going on with the card game. So I moved into Dragon Ball Z, into Magic to get more, I guess, like sensation out of it. So I didn't even realize that there was a Gen 2 Pokemon card game. Like I was just playing a video game.
Yeah.
So I completely missed out on that era as a kid, card wise. But yeah, I mean, you look at the Lugia is just, that's the Charizard of the second gen. It's beautiful.
The funny thing is this card sucks.
Really? You think
Like,
so?
I don't know no, it's a terrible card. I mean, I love the card as a collector, but the card to play wise,
Oh,
because like
yeah.
I did play the game, so I don't know how much you know. Like, do you actually have you ever played a game before?
Yeah. Well, my
So
own
you know how
rules, but
like
yeah.
you know how it's like you can only attach one energy per turn.
Yeah.
This card, so it's got 90 HP, so it's not really that tanky. Number one, but discard a fire energy, water energy, and lightning energy to do his attack. So basically, you can attack once every 3 turns for just 90 damage. This card sucks. I mean, I think the problem with the TCG was, if you look at the original era of Pokemon, they reprinted way too much. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you had base set, Jungle Fossil, Team Rocket, and then you kind of established something. But then they started releasing base set 2 again.
Mhm.
Then we got Legendary Collection, which is again just a re-release. Like, if you think about it from the perspective of playing a TCG, no wonder the game kind of died.
Right.
I mean, look at Yu-Gi-Oh! They literally release a set like every other day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now I think back then it was a bit slower, and honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh! In the beginning sucked because you had like almost no effect monsters with the original sets, and then they sort of like started getting powerful over time. But I don't know. Just looking back at the Pokemon TCG, the reason why people probably didn't play that is just because of that alone. I mean, the other reason why is we jumped into the game as collectors first. With Yu-Gi-Oh, we played Yu-Gi-Oh first, and then kind of started collecting. So I think they got the opposite effect for Pokemon TCG, just because like a lot of people just hopped in because they wanted to collect their shiny favorite Pokemon, not literally shiny, but the shiny cool toy. And then they realized, oh, there's a game with this as well. Because even as a kid, I never even knew that there was a game involved. I never questioned why there's like stats and stuff on these cards at all when I was a kid. I just kind of was assumed it was a reference to what's in the games because I didn't really pay that much attention to it.
See, I mean, obviously Pokemon's doing something right. They're the largest media company in the world, like ever. But yeah, it's funny how things, at least my viewpoint now on it is, yeah, back then, I think they were making a game for kids to play, but they just wanted to collect it. And now people just want to collect it, but they're making it, or the other way around. They're not really hitting the collectors the way that they should be. So like things are just, to me, backwards, but obviously they're doing something right because they're killing it. They're destroying the game right now. I mean, I really hope, like I've been pushing this for like a while now, that they do another XY Evolutions type set, but for Neo Genesis.
Yeah, I've been hoping for that for like the longest. I will literally buy cases and cases and cases, and I don't even care if it doesn't even explode. I just want to reopen Neo Genesis without it costing a leg.
yeah, absolutely. I got my fix out of Evolutions for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do it because the anniversary's coming up. Actually, I kind of was hoping they would do something now because it was the 20th anniversary for Silver and Gold. Literally, what, 2-3 days ago, and I was hoping they would do something, but nothing. I was even hoping they would do. I was a big fan of the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee series, and I was hoping they would do like a Johto version of it.
Yeah.
Like I know those games were kind of like super dumbed down, but again, you get to relive the Johto experience. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your history with Pokemon here and like how you got into collecting. So, when did you hop back into it?
XY Evolutions.
Okay.
So
all right. So same for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I don't know. So when I had my old job, I remember I watched my boss's kids once, and for some reason, I don't know why they did this. When I came to work the next day, they gave me kind of like a thank you, and in the thank you was like a gift basket, and there were a couple of Pokemon packs inside there, and I'm like, why? I mean, I grew up with the stuff, sure, I get it, but why? So I opened those packs, and I remember how exciting it was to open packs, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, it's nice, but it didn't do anything for me. It's because again, it's a newer stuff. I really didn't keep up with it, so I didn't know what I was even opening. And then what ended up happening is XY Evolutions came out, and I think someone tweeted at me or something, or I just saw it was coming out, and I saw that basically Basic got reprinted. So I'm like, oh man, I never pulled a Charizard as a kid. Let me see if I can relive that. I hopped on YouTube, and I realized that a community of people exist that open stuff for their channel. So that's how I found Leonhardt. I think at the time Leonhardt had like 20,000 subs. To show you how far ago this was. Yeah. And I watched him open a couple of XY Evolutions. I'm like, man, this is literally just base set, but in 2016. I'm in. So I bought a couple boxes. I think I bought like 2 or 3. And again, it's funny because looking back at it, I kept thinking, man, $80 for a box. This is kind of expensive. Yeah. How times have changed.
I just sold my last case for $2,100. Now they're like $3,000.
It's wild. So I opened the box, I pull a Charizard, and I'm like, oh snap! And then I discovered that grading exists, so I sent that into PSA. I had one of the first PSA 10s. I think at the time it was like Pop 5 or something like that. And I'm like, oh, this is cool, man. Collecting cards, getting them graded. I'm in. And then I wanted to like enter the journey of collecting every Charizard that I never got a chance to have. And I looked at the prices. I'm like, oh, these are expensive. Maybe we don't do that. And I got to keep in mind, this is 2016. Expensive back then is a steal today, like an absolute steal. I think like you could buy a base Charizard for like $40.
Oh yeah.
In mint condition. So it was that was expensive. But again, you know, I didn't know much about cards. I just know that, you know, you're paying $40 for a piece of paper essentially. So instead, what it is I opted up for getting my second favorite Pokemon, Mewtwo. So I started buying a bunch of Mewtwo's. I discovered Shining Mewtwo, and I realized that there's so many cards that they released over the course of like the last like 20 years that are just, they look so good. You know, they had the EX series cards, they had Gold Stars, they had the Shining cards, and then over the course of about a year, I pretty much collected every Mewtwo I've ever wanted. So then I'm like, you know what, let's dabble into getting a couple Charizards or two. So I started buying Charizards up. You know, every time I got them graded, it came back as 9s. I really wanted a 10. And next thing you know, I'm buying first edition Charizard. We're just talking about that off before we start recording, but there was moments literally like a year ago where you could literally just find minty first edition Charizards for like $3,000, which I know sounds like a lot, but for a first edition Charizard that you can basically quadruple the value if you get it graded, that's a steal.
Yeah.
And now you can't even get that at all. Like, like if a Charizard pops up, it's graded immediately, and it's just untouchable. Yeah, but yeah, essentially you start with X-File Evolutions to get me back in.
So what point did you start the YouTube channel then for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh? Or was it?
What I used to do is I used to upload on my main channel. But the thing is at the time I was uploading 2 videos a day on my channel. So when I introduced card openings as well, we're not doing 3 to 4 uploads a day for a long time.
Jesus.
The reason why I decided to split it is because I didn't want to like basically flood the sub box with just constant content. Like 2 videos a day is already too much. So I think I launched a channel, I want to say 2018, where it was just all focused around the cards. And like that channel, I don't view that channel as like I didn't launch that channel to just, you know, make money or just have like an extra source of income and all that stuff. I launched that channel just because I just kind of wanted to basically, in a way, document the experience, the journey. Because again, what Logic said the other day, it's like, what's the point of buying a box if you're not gonna open it? Like opening a pack and like pulling a hype card, like that feeling you can't capture. You can't like recreate that feeling. It's just one of those weird things. Like it doesn't matter what you have in life, like being able to sit there, open a pack, and pull something hype is just such a hype feeling. Yeah, that's why I launched that second channel.
Okay, yeah, that's where the nostalgia like purely lies for me, is opening packs. And like I opened up so much stuff when I got started. Obviously now it's like impossible to do that unless you just, you know, want to throw away like a used Nissan or something to open up a nice pack. But yeah, I didn't document a lot of it. I do have a lot of videos though still. But yeah, that feeling is just priceless. Like I said, I sold that Charizard that I pulled, but I have that video forever. You know, that's an experience that will never go away.
The main reason why I also launched it is just because like I do my content based on the content that I watch, and even to this day right now, one of my favorite kind of content on YouTube is watching card openings. So like if I get as excited watching that, I know someone else will as well. But the funny thing is like if you watch my older videos, you'll notice that on my wall I had a blister pack up. Remember back in I want to say Anime Expo of 2018. I remember I found someone was selling just blisters for like base set, and I remember I bought a shadowless blister for $70, and then I bought like a regular unlimited blister for like $40. And I had those hanging on my wall. If you look at a lot of my older pictures, you'll see those on the wall. I opened those actually at some point, and turns out it wasn't shadow, so it was an unlimited pack, but that pack ended up having a Charizard. That was my first base Charizard pull ever. The funny thing is so I recorded that video with the intention of releasing it later, because I remember I bought a first edition pack from my homie Shady. He cracked the first edition box. Oh, that's right. And I had that pack for a long time. And I remember what I plan on doing for like a 100K special for at some point on my second channel was I opened an unlimited pack, a shadowless pack, and then a first edition pack. So I actually pre-recorded that a year before actually releasing it, and I pulled that Charizard. So I had that video just private for like the longest. And then a couple months later, I bought a couple of packs from TCG Gaming and pulled the Charizard. Actually, that Charizard graded as a PSA 10 as well.
Wow.
So again, it's just nothing can like capture that moment of hype and adrenaline. Like when you, especially the card that you want. Like pulling a hype card is one thing, but pulling the one that you want is just like the most amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like I was at Worlds last year or 2019. Yeah, last year. I had a bunch of heavy base set packs with me, and I just brought them because I wanted to open them with people. And I got a bunch of friends together. We were like in the lobby of the hotel, a bunch of people around. We all open up our packs. I pull a Charizard, like go nuts. Everybody's like crazy. It ended up getting a PSA 6 because there was a crease on it from from the pack. But I had one pack left that I sold later on, like during the event, and that guy pulled a Charizard too, and that one graded a 10. But yeah, that experience, dude, of opening something like that, and especially with people around, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So since you've been doing this, well, speaking of shadowless stuff, going back, you've got one of those boxes, but you've got this heavy pack now. Have you opened up any heavy shadowless or first edition base?
No. Oh, I have base. First edition base. I've opened it twice now. So I had the one where I pulled the Raichu, which again was recorded in 2018. I bought that pack for $1,000, which at the time, again, it's like $1,000 for a single pack. Are you stupid? And then here I am, like a couple years later, buying more. So Mike, big shout out to Mike. He sent me a pack that he bought from Revsbach as well, and he was like, "I want you to open on your channel." And I'm like, first I said no. He messaged me. It was like, "Do you want to do this?" I'm like, "No. I don't want to handle that kind of like. That's a lot of pressure. Number one, two. I don't want to be responsible in case USPS loses or anything. I don't want it." I said no. But then I was thinking, a couple weeks later, I'm like, you know what? Let's do it, because Rev's box hadn't had a Charizard pulled yet, so I'm like, if I ever have a chance to pull a first edition Charizard, maybe this might be it. It's not gonna be mine, but at least I got to experience it. So I said yes, and I pulled a Ninetales out of it, which sucks because they both have the 4 symbols. So when you see that 4 pop up, you think, oh, it's just Ninetales. Sucks. But yeah, I opened a couple times. Now you helped me get that long crim pack, so I actually bought another pack. So I remember I hit up TCA Gaming back in like August, I want to say, and I'm like, hey, do you have any heavy base packs? He goes, I just have a Shadowless pack. I'm like, done. I want it. And now keep in mind, I got that pack for $1,200 back in like August.
Wow.
Again, the time you think it's a lot, but you look at that price today and you just laugh, because the pack you helped me get, I think was like what, 2,200, something like that. And even today,
and then I paid
like
$2,500. Yeah, and then I paid $2,500 for 2 from the same guy who was trying to like.
Yeah, he messaged me. He was like, "Hey, I got 2 packs, but I gotta buy it already." I'm like, He had us both basically trying to outbid each other. So you gonna open it or what?
I think so. That's what I'm planning right now. So I got a first edition heavy left, and I've got the 2 shadowless now. The first edition heavy is like, it's gotten to a price point where I don't know if I can open it anymore.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize, is because people was like, you post all these packs but you never open them. I'm like, it's not about that. The thing is a year ago you can justify it. It's like, it's $1,000, whatever, $2,000. But now, like again, a light pack sold for $16,000 the other day.
Yeah, and honestly, that's undervalued in my opinion. People hate me a lot on Instagram for posting the prices that I do on things, but an item like that, you can gamble and get a $250,000 card. Like, you're paying $16,000 for that chance, for that experience. Woo! So, I've passed up on so many of those.
So I opened my blister. It was a first edition blister, and I immediately replaced it. And I remember at the time I bought this for $2,000. By the way, I bought this for $2,000. And now it's just like, it's ridiculous. But I keep thinking like, man, what if?
Yeah.
What if?
But yeah, I think I talked to PokeRev, and I think I'm gonna plan out a trip to go visit the Poke Cave and open up at least one, maybe both of the heavy shadowless packs with him. I might save one to possibly do with you, since you have one that you're thinking about opening as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say when this virus is gone, we should definitely try to do something.
Yeah, because I'm looking forward to trying to do some PokeTuber tours and get around. So and obviously get out of Michigan's winter and head out west. But yeah, I am gonna open again, I say this, I am going to open those heavy shadowless packs, but if the prices somehow get up to like 10, 20 grand, it's going to be a tough thing to do.
Speaking of which, even literally at the time I was recording this right now, an unlimited Charizard is up on PWCC for 20 grand. Now, so can we talk about prices for a second?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times I feel like people look down upon the talking of prices. Like, look, I get it. There's people out there that literally would toss out prices just to like further inflate the market and hype stuff up. But I do it just solely because I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I'm also blown away about it. It's like I'm not posting these prices like, hey, look, Pokemon's hype. More people hop on the train. I'm posting because I'm just in disbelief. And this morning I even posted like this unlimited Charizard is 20 grand. It was 13 grand last week. I personally think there's no issue with talking about prices. It's, again, as a collector, you know, especially if you own something, it's exciting to see something just go up in price, especially if you bought it a long time ago when it was basically a pennies. Like, to me, it's hype.
Yeah, no, it's impossible to ignore. I mean, this is the conversation though that has been talked about forever. Like you said, back in the Pokemon Go era, what we thought was expensive then is nothing now, and people did the same, had the same mindset and complaining about the prices and not talking about it. I mean, I have a tough time talking about it, like personally, because if I held on to things, I'd be a millionaire right now. Like legitimately, I've looked at my spreadsheet and I've put today's prices in, and I would be a millionaire. And that's hard to stomach, but like again, it's something you have to do to you know, got to buy, sell, to build the collection that you have. But yeah, the prices right now, it's mind blowing. I mean, I saw this coming with the celebrities coming in and a spike, you know, coming along with it, but I didn't see it happening this soon. You know,
this soon and this fast. Yeah,
it's a lot of these prices. They make sense. A $250,000 PSA 10 first edition Charizard, that makes sense to me. I still think it's going to be the first $1 million Pokemon card at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, the first edition base set booster box, $200,000 is cheap. I legitimately think that's a $400,000 to $500,000 box today.
I mean, technically is, because Logan sold his basically for $400,000.
Well, I mean, he doubled the price because of his influence, got the shout out side of it, which on that end is undervalued for his outreach. I mean, I know people of his caliber get $50K for a shout out, even more.
Yeah.
So the fact that you spend $11K for a shout out and then also get a chance of, you know, making money on what you're buying, that was extremely undervalued.
Shout out to the $30,000 Bulbasaur.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
We can talk about that too in a second.
I don't even want to mention that guy's name, but yeah. So, but it's something that it is also you got to look out for, because there's a lot of things in the market now that are definitely, I think, hyperinflated and not where they should be. Like real bubble talk. There are bubbles within what's happening, and people have got to be careful. It's just about educating yourself. But yeah, a lot of it makes sense, but a lot of it still trying to figure out.
One of the reasons why I try not to post prices in my videos is solely because they change so fast, number one. I mean, the big one for me is because I'm always working on my main channel. It's when I'm even doing simple edits to my second channel, it gets very exhausting. So having to like add those extra edits can take forever. But the main reason why I don't like to talk about prices is because I don't want to also be the one that accidentally, you know, overvalue something, or even down the line, the price has changed. By the time you upload a video, it's already different. But the thing I want to talk about is I don't see, I gotta be careful how I word this because people are gonna get mad at me for this. I don't see an issue with celebrities wanting a piece of this, because like a lot of these people grew up with this stuff. Again, Logic buying that Charizard, he loves Pokemon. He grew up with it. You know, he was telling me stories how when he was a kid, he couldn't even get packs. He would steal the cards. He would steal the cards to get the experience. So like, why should someone like Logic not be allowed in the hobby and, you know, buy the grail that everyone wants because he's got money that he's worked for? Like, because like right now, a lot of people are like mad that celebrities are entering and basically outbidding people, and I'm like let them, like me going into Pokemon. I knew over time, like the longer I take to buy something, the worse it's gonna get. Like I knew that. That's why, like, you know, I was going crazy buying stuff growing for like the past 3 years, because I know the prices were growing. I remember, you know, I mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh as well. When I got back into Pokemon back a couple years ago, I started buying Blue Eyes as well. I remember a first edition LOB Blue Eyes was $70, minty, $70. And I would buy a couple of them, try to give it graded, get a couple PSA 10s. I handed a couple PSA 10s around to my friends as like a gift, like, hey, hang on to this, and not expecting the Blue Eyes effect was also going to be the Charizard effect later. And now you can get like a plated Blue Eyes for like $2,000. But like my point is like, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of gatekeeping. Like if somebody with money wants to enter the hobby, by all means go for it. But like, I get why people get mad, because that means now they can never ever get that one card. But to me, the way I view it is more of a challenge. Like if you get like a PSA 10 Charizard first edition today, it's that much more hype now than it was a couple years ago, because now it's like next to impossible to get. But you shouldn't view it as impossible. You should view it more as a challenge. Granted, again, it's kind of a unique experience. Trying to obtain a $250,000 card, it's more than a challenge. It's kind of impossible. People probably would never ever be able to chance to get it. But at the same time, you also got to remember, people rarely ever talk about pop reports outside the hobby. Like only 120 exist. You know how many millionaires there are in the world that will probably want to get a piece of this? A lot. Like, and that's why Neo Genesis blew up. There's only 9 PSA 10 first edition Typhlosions. There's only 4 unlimiteds.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much money you got. If there's only 4, yeah, I have one. Like I think I have one. Charizard King I think has 2, and I don't know who has the 4th one. But like again, no matter how much money you got in the world, if the 4 was don't want to sell, like that's it. Like
right.
I don't know. I just think like collecting, like I get why people get upset about it, but I'm more about welcoming people in for the right reasons. Now, again, there are people who also enter it for the wrong reasons, and they just want to basically profit off the hobby, which I know it sucks, but like you can't really avoid it. If that makes sense. Like, we're talking about the $30,000 Bulbasaur. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the more people are aware, the more, I don't know, people will focus around people like that guy. Yeah. I'm not gonna knock him, because apparently, there's people out there that are buying the cards from at those prices, and like it is what it is, but. I don't know. I'm just more about being aware, and like as the hobby grows, I choose the people to talk to. I talk to you, I talk to Rev. I'm gonna hang out with you guys. I'm not gonna go hang out with the people that I don't want to be around. Just because they're in the same hobby. If that makes sense.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of misinformation floating around, and everybody can grab that basic sense of. I mean, you see that guy talking about, here's the Shadowless, here's Unlimited, here's First Edition, and all that stuff, but. Like there's a lot more knowledge that goes into these cards that people like him don't have or spend the time on learning. Like, yeah, he's hustling, he's doing well, he's doing his thing. Can't really knock him for it, but it comes down to the people buying and the people paying attention to it, of doing their own research. So having the right people in your circle, having the right people to buy from and sell it to is very important to keep things organic and healthy. I don't doubt that a Bulbasaur first edition will be $30K one day. Like again,
yeah, right.
There's not that many. Like you compare it to Zion Williamson, who has 30,000 PSA graded rookies just from one set, and then there's 30,000 in Beckett. I mean, come on. There's 200 Bulbasaurs, 300 Bulbasaurs, and
the irony about all of this is the first time I heard about that guy was when he was spouting that PSA 9 first edition Charizard will be $50K by Christmas.
He's right.
He wasn't wrong. That situation is unique. Something like that, like especially with how much hype there's been around Charizard, sure. But like again, the only advice I want to give to anybody is just do better research, because like there is a lot of inflation in the hobby, and really really bad ones. For example, like I was just trying to buy a Spell Mass box on eBay, and they're all listed at $6,000 for no reason at all. The packs are like 40 a piece. So like right now, I literally messaged somebody who had like 20 packs for sale, and I'm like, I'll buy all your packs for 40 each. She goes, well, it's undervalued because they're $6,000 a box. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, there is 2 listed on eBay for $6,000, and the last sale was technically $2,000. Actually, a couple of days ago. So, like, the best advice to give to people is if someone spouts out numbers just randomly, just check the sales data. And at the end of the day, if there are people that will pay premium price, then I guess there is some truth to what people say. But like, I look at it more like how many times will something sell within that range, or close to that range. If that's the case, like if let's say a couple boxes for Spell Mass sold around $6,000, I'm like, okay, fine, sure. But like, I'm seeing all these packs on eBay right now for like 40 a piece, and I'm seeing sales data for these boxes like $2,000. I'm like, where are you getting $6K from? Like, what?
Right.
It's all about research.
Yeah,
it's all about research.
And it is item dependent. Like, I mean, for something like a set card, a set box, something that was mass produced, having understanding that is important, because you don't want to get screwed and pay 3 times what the last sold amount was. But something we see now, like the Trophy Kangaskhan on PWCC, the PSA 10, I think last I checked it was at 72,000. Now I do have a leg in this fight. I have a BGS 9 on eBay. I just lifted the price from 100 grand to 150 grand. And then the other people that have PSA 10s they went up from 150 to 200. So items like that where they truly are unique, and if you do sell them, you'll never get them back type things. That's something that, like, price inflation is it's a little different mindset, because it's just a matter of what someone's willing to pay. Yeah. But yeah, something like a normal set that there's only 2 available on eBay, but there's actually 10,000 out there in the world that people just aren't selling yet. Yeah, it's a knowledge of the hobby, a knowledge of the history, and understanding like what's out there. Because even like unlimited boxes, base set unlimited being 35,000 now.
It's just insane to even hear that.
Yeah, I sold 3 of them in January for like $4 grand. Yeah, it definitely should be. It's just, there's a lot more out there than people think. But I think that's a fine price because it's well deserving.
One of the things that always bugged me is like when I was getting into sealed boxes, I used to always look at unlimited and be like, why are unlimited boxes like $4 grand? I'm like, why is this unlimited box $4 grand and then these EX series boxes are matching that or more? I'm like, nah, when it comes down to Pokemon, the original stuff should always be at the top, because it's what people grew up with and connect with the most. So I'm actually one of the ones that's happy about those boxes getting to the point. I mean, I'm not happy in case people can't get them. I mean, I get it, but again, I feel like for what they're valued now makes more sense than what did a year ago, because again, this is base set. This is what started it all.
Yeah, and touching on what we were talking about before about people being upset about all this pricing. To be honest, I think people need to like look at themselves in the mirror, and I truly believe that 90% of them are only upset because, oh, I missed out on $40,000. Like, they only care about the money now, and not actually care about the item itself. Because like you said, it doesn't matter who's in the hobby and what they're paying for. It goes for what it goes for. And everyone had the same opportunity that we did to buy this stuff at a certain price. And it was either you jumped on it or you didn't. And
and to those, there's obviously also the reasons where people just might not be in a situation to be able to buy something. So I get that.
Right. But you could have worked for it. You could have set that goal, had that discipline, and got it. That was something that's another thing I talk about.
Sometimes. I mean, again, we don't know everyone's situations. Because I mean, again, like you might not have anything. You just working for months setting aside, and just price keeps going up. So I get that. But like on average, like when I was getting through everything, I was self-aware. Like with this Lugia, this is the one card. Not this one, is the fake one. This is the one card I wanted as a 10 more than anything back in 2018. And I remember I was buying them left and right, and they all came back as 9s. Now the funny thing is, so what I do sometimes is when I stock out on too many cards, I will. I very rarely sell my stuff, but every now and then I'll just send a bunch of bulk over to like Troll and Tool, for example, and then maybe every now and then I'll put a couple slabs in there. Do you understand how many PSA 9 Lugias I sold for like $200 last year?
How many?
I lost count. But like I said, I was buying them left and right. Because to me, what I was doing was, you buy one for like $50-$70, comes back at 9, you sell for like $100 to $200, you make your money back so you can buy more. That's what I was doing. All I cared about was getting that 10. I didn't care about the profit later, But still, when you look at Lugia today, you're like, 9 is how much? It does kind of hurt. But of course, the magical moment did happen last year where I bought that pack from ZNG, and I pulled for Alligator, I pulled the Lugia, and I pulled a couple others, and they all came back as 10s, which is very rare for Neo Genesis. And I will never get rid of that card. I'm gonna always keep that card for the rest of my life, just because, again, it's one of my favorites. But again, I was aware. I knew back then that if I miss out on this Lugia right now, I will never get a chance to own it again. So that's why I was so like adamant about getting it as much as I can. And then every time I got 7s, 8s, 9s backs, I would either just do random giveaways. There's actually been a lot of moments where I just straight up, like when people would message me, I hope this doesn't start a flood, but people would message me and say, hey, I love Lugia. And then I'm like, great, give me your address. And I would just mail them a 9. Like, so many people in the last year got those from me, whether it was Lugias or Charizards and stuff like that. I was just handing them out just because, to me, it was more valuable watching someone get excited when that randomly shows up in the mail than just, making like $100 off of it. But still, again, like you got to just be aware of what's happening. And when when something blows up and is unreachable, you can't be all like, huh, when did this happen? It's like, well, it's been happening for years. Like a lot of people right now are saying like all these influencers and celebrities are ruining the hobby with these prices. I'm like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, this has been happening for years. The prices have only been going up and up. I mean, even XY Evolutions right now is like $500 a box.
Yeah.
I found a comic shop the other day that dug up a bunch of classic packs, and I immediately went to it. And the first thing he asked me, he points in the wall and goes, "What do you think about that?" And he points to XY Evolutions. I'm like, yeah, that's very popular right now. You probably should buy a couple of cases of it because this is the modern day base set. Like a lot of people are just excited about it just because of the feeling of capturing, you opening base stuff. That's gonna blow up. We know this. So in a year from now, Radar, when those boxes are like $5,000 a piece, no one should be shocked about it. It's like, when did this happen? It's like, we've been talking about this for years, and that's why I mentioned, hey, anybody that wants to get into Pokemon right now that is trying to figure out something that's budget worthy, look into Prime cards, look into Level X's. They have a lot of fantastic arts. Level X's are basically like modern day gold stars, like the art wise, because they just like pop out. And still, like Level X's, no one really cares about them because again, it's not WotC. It's not like the gold stars. It's not about the early stuff that people were into. But I think Prime Pokemon, Level X's are beautiful, and over time, even those cards will be unreachable.
Yeah,
I remember the last time I talked about...
There's so much opportunity still. It's just a matter of recognizing it,
I remember the last time I talked about, I think, Prime and Level X. I think the first one I brought up, someone legitimately got mad at me. Like, whoop, no, this is going to get unreached because I talked about it. I'm like, no, this is happening all the time. I'm telling you. Just because I mentioned it does not mean it's going to drop the prices. I mean, it might a little bit, like a little small bump in the road there. But, like, I'm telling you this right now before it becomes unreachable. Because once it becomes unreachable, then people are going to be mad because they missed out on it.
Right.
So, like,
yeah. No, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, I saw Evolutions coming and I didn't act on it. Like I literally had a conversation with a guy. I was like, hey, I'm going to spend $10,000 on cases when they were $500, $600. And this was like a few months ago, not when it like first came out.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. I bought something else. I don't remember what I bought, but yeah, I mean, it's just, there's so many things that are so clear, especially when you're engaged in the hobby of where you can make money, and there's still so much opportunity out there. Like I'm looking at Japanese stuff, at vending series, at versus series. There's so many opportunities out there to find this stuff. You just have to try to detach your emotions to what you really love and look at everything as a whole. And that's the biggest thing that I push on people now, is setting goals and staying disciplined to it. Because for me, like I said earlier, if I was disciplined on what I was doing and like really focused in, I'd be a millionaire right now. And I made a wrong decision here or there. Well, not the wrong decision. They were all good decisions. It was just I didn't take time to weigh out the other opportunities. But like my first goal when I got into the hobby was a first edition base set box, because I wanted that thing. I wanted to open it. I wanted that experience. And I strayed away from it very early on because I was getting into everything and just all over the place. And now, they're pretty much unattainable for me. But, I don't have any doubt in my mind that if I like refocused that goal and really went for it, I could do it. So, no matter where you are in life, whatever your situation is, if you put in the effort, if you grind, if you're focused and disciplined at what you're doing, you can get just about anything.
Yeah.
And it's just, so people got to stop blaming others for their misfortunes and what they missed out on. They just gotta hit the ground running and do it.
There's also a lot of fear of missing out. So I saw a Neo-Japanese booster box go up on eBay the other day for $9,000. And I remember I did the math. I think at $9,000 we're talking about like $200 a pack. And I looked on eBay and I saw packs selling for $200 a piece. So I'm like, huh, that's technically a good deal. And I remember I texted Rev. I'm like, Rev, should we? And he goes, I don't know. I mean, it is kind of worth it. People are looking at Neo stuff right now and Japanese boxes in general. And I swear to God, literally 3 hours later, that box was listed at $14,000. Or $13,000 actually. And I'm like, I missed out. And I think that's kind of like the problem that people experience nowadays too, is the fear of missing out. If you don't get it now, it's going to be unreachable later. And that also might be why the prices are driving up so much. People are just pulling the trigger. Somebody sent me a screenshot yesterday of them getting a offer on eBay for a one of the secret rare Charmeleons from what was it, Stormfront, I think. And they offered them like $1,500. And the message just said, I don't care what the price is right now. Take this premium. I just want it. And I'm thinking like the reason why that person probably did that is because they knew that if they missed out now, they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
I am an idiot. Yesterday, I missed out getting a level X Gengar PSA 10 that was listed at $700 because I offered 5. To me, that card's worth like $900.
Yeah.
But my dumbass was like, yeah, let's just try to save $200. I spent a lot of Pokemon the past couple of weeks, and guess what? Offer expired and it's off of eBay now. And I think the next one that pops up is probably gonna be like 1,000 plus.
Yeah.
I missed out.
Yeah.
So I think that's something else that people have to kind of like figure out, like balancing out the fear of missing out. Because like, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot. I have a lot as well. But there's been a lot of situations in the last couple of years where I just decided to just be like, just wait a second, and then now it's completely unreachable.
Yeah.
Oh, the big one was last year. I had a chance to buy a Dragon's Frontier box for $4,000. I don't have it.
What are those at? Like 25, 30?
More.
Oh my God.
I personally, I think EX series boxes are completely overvalued because they're not like, look, you buy a WotC box, you know you're getting 12 hollows out of it. You buy a EX series box, you're not gonna get a gold star. You might, but most likely you're not. And if you do get the gold star, you might get the one that you don't really want. You know, you open an EX Dragon's Frontier box, you'll get a Mew instead of the Charizard, which is fine. Mew is cool as well, but you want the Charizard. Yeah. I think EX series boxes are severely overvalued.
Well, it's a different. It's got to be viewed as a separate collectible because at that era it was really scarce, like sealed product. At least from what we say. Who knows? There could be guys out there with storage units of this stuff.
Yeah.
But from what we know, what we've seen over time, it's just not available. So from a sealed product standpoint, you gotta see that as a completely different collectible than the cards itself.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably, again, I don't like that it's higher than like the original stuff because I'm a Gen 1er, like that's what I love, so maybe there's some personal bias, but from a true scarcity standpoint, from what we know today, it makes sense.
It's just like, because I showed Gold Star Charizard to Logic and he was like, oh great, where do I get it? I'm like, oh, you get it from this box, you know. And I sent him a link to a couple PSA 10s. He goes, no, I'm gonna pull it. I'm like, no. You don't want to try to pull these. Now, I actually have pulled several gold stars in the past couple of years. I got really lucky. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but so I buy all my packs from Troll and Toad usually when they pop up. If I see something vintage, it's gone. Like, if you ever look at stuff on Troll and Toad and it's sold, it's because I bought it. Because I'm always just checking out their stuff. And I feel like because I just said that, more people are going to view that every single day. But I remember 2 Dragon Frontiers packs popped up for like 60 each. I bought them both. Just 2. Pulled a Mew out of one of them. 2 weeks prior to that, they had Holon Phantoms, which is something that I was really wanting to open the longest because, again, Mewtwo is one of my favorites. And I opened 2 Mewtwo. Wow. So, again, in a month's worth, I pulled 2 gold stars. 1 month later, Unseen Forces. I pulled an Entei. So, over the course of basically a month, I pulled 3 gold stars basically out of a batch of like 6 packs total.
That's absurd. Because I think it's one in every 2 boxes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, because that happened so many times, I got the high off of it. And I started buying EX packs every single time they popped up. I was scouring through eBay as well. I bought so many EX series packs after that, and never again did I pull a gold star. I think I pulled once, maybe. No, I don't think I did. I think I just pulled those 3. But either way, like I used to gold star hunt, and I realized how, like, you should. It's funny because I just showed you the Deoxys packs that I'm about to do one last time. But like, this is my problem with the modern day Pokemon. Like, a lot of people always ask me, like, oh, should I stock up on, Burning Shadows, yada, yada, yada. No, you should not. I don't think you should, because the thing is I mean, over time, people will probably want to pay premium boxes of this because these boxes to people today, 10 years from now, could be their base boxes. It's what they grew up with. But the thing is the reason why a lot of these boxes are valued what they are is because they have stuff like Charizard in it. Do you know how many packs I opened to get a shiny Charizard from Hidden Fates? Like 2,000 packs. Right now, I'm reaching 1,000 packs on Champion's Path, and I did pull 3 shinies, but I didn't pull a single hyper rare. And again, looking back at the middle era stuff, there's a lot of times where the pull rates are just god awful. Like, at this point, the only reason why you want to get an EX series box is just because you like the design of it. Maybe there's some kind of special, but opening them, I think, is stupid. I think opening Yu-Gi-Oh boxes is stupid as well, because again, you open 24 packs for who knows how much money you spent, and you essentially get 2 hollows out of it. Because again, nobody cares about the super rares. But like, I don't know. I like WotC stuff better. I think it's safer because again, you buy a box. If you ever decide to open it, you're gonna get 12 good hollows out of it, potentially a Charizard if you get like base set or something like that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I can understand that opener high very well, because when I opened that first edition Charizard, I went right over to someone's booth. They had 2 sealed EX like collector boxes that had 2 Deoxys and 1 Team Rocket Returns packs in them. And I opened up one of them right away and pulled nothing. I think I got like a hollow Togetic or something.
I bought this box. I
Yeah.
bought this box from this right here.
Yeah.
So I bought this from Troll and Toad for like $400 about a year ago. And again, $400, whatever. I pulled nothing out of it, not even a hollow.
Yeah.
Looking back, I'm like, man, why? And I'm not just use it for like a storage thing, but like,
Those are hard to find. Like people really
yeah, I
want
know.
those.
I
Yeah.
opened that and I'm reading the comments. I'm like, you shouldn't have opened that. Do you understand how rare that box is? I'm like, no, I don't. I just wanted to. Again, I had the high from the gold stars. I just want to do it again. And like, I now regret it.
Yeah. Well, it's like the only other option to get unweighed EX packs other than buying a $30,000 box or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had 3 of those and I opened one and then sold the other 2 because I don't have that attachment to it. So I just like I'll take the money and buy something I want.
I think someone tagged me on Instagram the other day. Said, let's do a box battle, and he showed me that. I'm like, I couldn't even find that if I wanted to.
If you give me one, sure.
I'll buy one. Just I'm down, but you literally can't find those anymore.
Yeah, it's incredible. Well, yeah, I mean, I think, again, Pokemon's just in like a very uncertain, volatile spot. Although there's a lot of confidence around it, and I think that's okay. But yeah, for everyone that's getting into this stuff, I mean, yeah, things are changing daily, like you said. I sold a PSA 9 Charizard for $4,500 2 days ago. They're $8,000 already.
Yeah.
Like 2 days ago. So, I mean, Charizard probably safe, but people looking at first edition jungle Meowths and Jigglypuffs and Eevees and all that are paying $500, $600, $700 for these things, I'd be weary of something like that because of how much is out there, and I know how many people are sending in to get graded. But yeah, it's a scary time, but also an exciting time. I just can't wait for things to like calm down so I can really figure out what I can do
and what you want to buy.
Yeah, it's just like it's dumb. It's just dumb what's happening right now, but I love it, and it's great for the hobby. It's great for us. Yeah. It's changed people's lives. I mean, even though I got rid of most of my stuff too early, it still changed my life. Like it's, we got to be more accepting and more positive of more people coming into our community, into our hobby, because at the end of the day, it's good for everybody. Whether you missed out on $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, like it's still helping out what you have and whatever your goals are. So hopefully people can get more positive about all this stuff and turn their mindsets around.
And who are we to say someone doesn't deserve the joy and happiness that you get from Pokemon? Again, when Logan got into it, I saw people legitimately were mad about it. I'm like, have you not seen like any clip that popped up was made opening packs? That was pure excitement. That was pure happiness. That was joy. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I hate gatekeeping. If I see someone that's genuinely excited about that, I welcome anybody to the hobby, even if you're just in it because you think collecting cool stuff that grows in value is dope. Like, welcome. Again, there's some people that are more malicious about it. They want to just like profit off it, but whatever. Just be wary of those people. That's all you gotta do. If you're wary of those people and avoid those people, then it is what it is. And if someone wants to go to those people and pay ridiculous premium price to get whatever, then that's on them. But for the rest of us, like, again, welcome. You want to come collect cards because you enjoy shiny cardboard? I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Right, and there's so many different ways to be engaged with this stuff. Like I said, I'm priced out of this market, at least of the things that I want. Like personally for a collection, I can't buy them. I can't afford it. But I can still be engaged with finding opportunities in other cards, learning about those, making money on those, and hopefully buying something that I really want. And also doing this podcast, doing stuff like this to be engaged in the community, in the hobby. There's ways to still get that enjoyment and nostalgia back without spending all your money on cards and complaining about them being too expensive. So, people just need to sit down, relax a little bit, and really focus in on what they truly love and enjoy and go after it.
Patience. It's funny, about 3 months ago, I was tossing around a couple offers to people to get a first edition PSA 10 Charizard for, I was going to offer up my Shadowless box, my Unlimited box, my Neo Destiny box, and my Neo Genesis box.
Mm.
Just those 4 boxes. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, there was a moment where those boxes were severely overvalued compared to the Charizard, but now the Charizard jumped up so much, it's like, okay, well, maybe one day the Shadowless box will be the same value with Charizard, and I'll just do a straight trade for it.
Yeah.
That's the only way I'm getting at this point.
Well, that's funny because Shadowless is still something that I think is still undervalued. I mean, it's still like a really niche set. It's something that outside collectors coming in don't understand or pay attention to. But, I mean, that was honestly, I'm pretty sure Shadowless was the first printed set. It was just they sent some of it to get a stamp on it. So,
yeah. I think that's what my box is because my box is the one that has the clear shrink wrap.
Clear wrap, no country codes on the bottom.
I saw that box. I immediately recognized it.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's open, but
yeah,
and so is this one.
I don't know how many people see it, but like actually the Pokeball design on the top box is bigger for the Shadowless.
Yeah, I don't have an unlimited to show that off, but
because I was just looking at it, I was like, that's a Shadowless box.
Yeah, I mean that's like one thing that like shocks people, like that makes you think like you're really knowledgeable about stuff. Because I remember a year ago, this guy had bought like 5 or 6 cases of base set, and I bought one of them from him, and then a first edition Gym Challenge case from him as well. But he was like showing me pictures of the deal that went down because him and his business partner bought a stupid amount of Pokemon, and they had opened all the cases just to check what was in it. And I was like, oh, there's a potentially Shadowless box or case, like without even looking at it. He's like, how do you know that? And yeah, you can just tell by the little Pokeball. So you don't even have to see the green wing Charizard.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's exciting time in the hobby. I'm doing what I can to stay afloat and enjoy it. I'm enjoying all your content. All the new PokeTubers coming in, opening stuff is so much fun to watch. And, I can't thank you enough for like, getting me connected with your people and joining me on the podcast as well. So I hope that we can, I see you on Twitch. I need to hop in some of those games. But hopefully we can.
I don't think you want to play Among Us with me.
No, it looks so much fun. I was playing the other night with the E4 guys, so I'm having so much fun doing that stuff. But
I don't know if I should be proud of my abilities of being an imposter and my ability to lie, but I don't think you want to play Among Us with me. I think today I'm posting my video with Ninja, and that was a very, very heated session.
Oh, you had back imposters. I was watching that live.
I feel bad because it turns out I think I did glitch into it, and I don't know how. Because apparently, if you get it 3 times in a row, something's broken, and I didn't know that. So like, I think I got impostered 5 times back to back to back. And
really?
I remember when I got on my last one, I'm like, should I just start over? Like, no one's telling me anything. I don't know anything about this. But yeah, no, it was a very heated session.
No, it's always fun to watch that stuff. It's so much, especially when you have so many different personalities like that. Like, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, hopefully I can make my way out west one of these days and do a nice little opening video with you.
Double Charizard pull,
or at least another Charizard Blastoise pull or something. Venusaur pull.
Imagine how crazy that would be. Just we both open our Shadowless packs and they're both Charizards.
Well, apparently they were from a different source, I guess.
Yeah.
That guy that we bought them from. So can't say it'll be impossible.
The only thing that's always weird to me, it's like, okay, did that person pull a Charizard and sell the rest of the packs, or I mean,
there can always be 2 or 3 in that box.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can have 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, PokeRev had 3 Poliwraths. Logan Paul had 3 Chanseys. It could very well be a Blastoise, Venusaur, or Charizard, the same thing. So, yeah, looking forward to that. I just need to get the balls to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, thank you again for joining the podcast. We went like an hour and a half here, so
wow.
Yeah, that flew by. I wish you the best on your on at least on the stuff that you're doing up here. At least the EX Deoxys packs that you'll be opening. I wish you the best there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pull up your YouTube here. Obviously, people know you more than me, so everyone watching this probably already knows. But you got the Rhymestyle, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. You're 27K away from that 100K, but you'll get there. And then obviously 1 mil on the main channel and your Instagram here as well, which you just posted a Dark Charizard
very slept on Charizard. Very slept on.
Very slept on. Oh, and you got
like
your video games in here too.
I feel like I say that a lot. I'll say something is slept on. It's like, you always say this. I'm like, what? I think certain stuff is slept on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait until people discover that games are. I don't know if you can see it back there or not. Hold on. Look at that. Sealed Mario Bros. 3.
Have you started grading yet?
No, it's weird. I love grading cards because it makes sense, but I don't like grading games because I feel like, what's the point? As long as you get like one of those acrylic cases that keeps it safe, it's not like it's gonna like get bent or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to send stuff off to VGA, but at the same time, I feel like I don't want to fall into another rabbit hole of grading stuff.
Yeah.
Outside of cards, but I might one day.
I just sent my 2 Super Smash Bros. Melees to WADA, so hoping to get good grades on those. But that market's gonna explode soon, I think.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of potential. You know, I got the main boxes that I want. It's back up there. I got the Mario 64 sealed. This is Rev's fault. Rev hit me up on Instagram about a year ago. Was like, come on, bro, you know you want this, and I'm like, I do. And then I bought. I think I got Pokemon Silver first, and then I bought a second one, and then I also got 2 Pokemon Stadium 2 sealed.
Okay, yeah. See, I slept on those. They're just too expensive now to buy.
Well, unfortunately, the first one I bought was a reseal because it doesn't have the HC in the back.
Oh.
So I had to find a second one. I mean, the box is super minty, so I don't know. Maybe it was sealed properly a long time ago by, like, I don't know, whoever had it. But then I bought a second one for like $400. That was slightly less conditioned, but again, it's still sealed. And that's all I care about.
Yeah, that's.
But now it's like
a whole rabbit hole of information that I don't know if I have time to learn about. So
yeah,
it's tough. A whole nother industry. Seems whatever.
All you gotta know is if it has that little line in the back, it's a real seal.
Okay, all right. It seems easier than it probably is. I just like to overwhelm myself and make myself think it's too hard.
Yeah. Well, I wish I would have known earlier about that because again, I got Mario World 2 at the top over there, resealed. Didn't know about that. Again, all you have to look for is in the back. It have like a little line in the wrap, and that's how you know it's real.
Gotcha. Well, aesthetically, it does the job. So
yeah.
But all right. Well, thank you again, Dino Rhymestyle, for being on my podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun. I could talk about this stuff for hours and hours and hours.
yeah. Hopefully we can do this again or see where the market's at by Christmas time if we can get our Bulbasaurs for $30,000.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. Be sure to follow Rhymestyle. If you don't, maybe I'll get you an extra subscriber or two. We'll see you next time.